In this lesson, we're going to be animating our fish path and using auto orient. Okay, so let's come over here to our project panel. And we're going to be using that video of our fish swimming. So just come over here to video and choose the yellow fish. We'll just drop him on here. And I want him to be swimming from the right this time. So we'll just right click, go to transform, and choose flip horizontal. And then we're just going to have him come over here from the side, just sort of as this graph is being talked about. So just about halfway through. And let's have this begin right about there. We'll hit the P key to bring up its position. And I want this to animate through to the end. So what I'm going to do is set up several keyframes for this animation. So we'll just start him over here. Then I want to bring him over in this direction. And then I want him to go back out over here. So we're going to need to do a few things to fix that motion path. Now this one, I'm going to kind of pull this over here just to change that so this is more rounded. And I want to do the same thing on this side as well, just so he's kind of navigating his way through these words. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to need to make a little bit of a change here so he flips back around. So I want to make that change right when this domestic coral reef conservation grant column graph starts to transition out. So let's figure out exactly where that needs to happen. We'll just give our audio a quick listen.
And while there are still many conservation groups working to save the reef, anyone can help by being careful not to litter and pollute. Anyone can help.
So right when he starts to say anyone can help, that's when I want to transition out the column graph. So let's go ahead and we'll just scale that column graph down. So perfect timing. We have that keyframe right in the right place. Let's hold shift and hit page down. Just 15 frames. I added about 5 on there, and then we'll take that down to 0 and trim that layer by hitting Alt N bracket, just like that. Let's give that first keyframe some ease. So I'll hit F9 and open up the graph editor. We can pull this out just to slow that down a little bit at the beginning. Great. Let's make sure that motion blur is turned on for this as well. So we go in here and we don't have motion blur turned on for any of these. So select them all, hit that button. We have to do that on the inside just because we have those collapse transformations, that collapse transformation switch turned on there. Okay, so this is looking really good. We got our little fish swimming in here. And then let's go ahead and click on him. So right about here is where we want him to make the turn. So I'm going to pull this back so that he makes it there a little bit more quickly. And then we want him to turn over the other direction. But first I'm going to turn on auto orient just so we can see what that does to him. So with that layer selected, we'll just come up here to layer, go to transform, choose auto orient and orient along path. So you can see he's already a little bit confused because we flipped him over. So we'll just turn him back this direction. And this looks really good. Then right here, we want him to basically flip the other way so that now he'll be facing down and he won't be swimming upside down as we continue on through here. So you can see now he looks a little bit weird. So we can just do that over one frame and you'll never even notice a difference. So I'm going to do that with his scale property. So go ahead and select him, hold shift and hit S, bring that up. And he's already at -100, so we'll just move forward one more frame and change that to +100. Now we need to unlock that so that that change can be made. And then now he is facing the right direction, but he's facing upwards. So we want him to be facing down. So we need to also add a rotation keyframe here as well. So select the layer, hold Shift again and hit R. We'll go ahead and set a key there and then just rotate him around so he's facing down. Just like that. So you see he just flips over in one frame, and really no one will ever be able to notice that because this is moving so fast. In fact, if you wanted to, you could maybe do it just a little bit earlier. Let's just take all those, move them back one more time, one more frame, and now that happens just in a way that you would really never ever notice that that happened. Great, so now he animates through all the way to the end, and now we're ready to bring on the next part of our message, which is kind of what you can do to help. So it's going to be very similar to the way that we had our icons for the causes of the destruction. It's just going to be circles right here in the middle, and so we can do that in our next lesson. Go ahead and switch on motion blur for this little guy. I don't think he ever really goes fast enough to need it except when he's doing his little flip. So that is working out great. So we'll come back and add those last parts of the message in our next lesson.